Hello, ITPC. This is Steve, and you're watching Smoking Cardboard. I'm going to try to fit way too much into this video. I know this already, and I apologize in advance. I am smoking. I don't have the tin over here. GLP's Bankside. Another new blend. So I think that's like 83 or something now. In my Savinelli, whatever number. I'm not a numbers guy. And I am enjoying Bankside. This Edwin Pipes and Cigars? Pipes? Edwin, I don't know what your channel name is, Edwin. He was talking about it. I was like, I have a tin. I need to try this stuff. It sounds great. Tastes great. It's a little bit of bite for me, but not too bad. Anywho, I am fully intending to talk about my year in smoking, a year summary, and then I'll give you my favorite blends of the year. So this year I logged. I'm not sure if I am very accurate at logging. I kind of do it at a week at a time. And I had 293 smokes this year. Yeah, some months one month I didn't have any. That was when I was kind of trying to figure out some of my issues going on. So, per doctor's orders, I was trying to not smoke for an entire month, which I did that plus some. And then other than that, it's about a smoke a day. It averages. So some days I don't smoke. And then other days I smoke twice or something. Sometimes I would also log a bowl that I didn't actually smoke all the way, all the bowl. And other times I didn't do that. Like this past weekend, I cleaned up a bunch of my pipe tobacco stuff. And I had a bunch of like small lingering samples. And some of them were just real small samples I had. I just kind of puffed on them. I wasn't feeling great, like had cold and just smoking was not there, but I kind of wanted to taste it and just get rid of some of that stuff. So I did that for some blends and I didn't log any of that. Anywho, so yeah, 293 smokes of, I think it was like 83 different blends. So I jump around a lot, and I'm just still trying so much stuff. I still have so many blends and tins or sample little pouches that I've never tried. I think trying new blends is really intriguing, exciting, but it's also a little bit intimidating because I have issues with my oral stuff, and it feels like there's a real high chance that whatever blend I try is going to bite and I'm not going to like it. So you go, oh, Steve, why wouldn't you just smoke the ones that you really like that don't create issues? Because I'm still really curious, apparently. Anywho, let's get to it. Top blends of the year. So I was trying to whittle it down to 5, and it ended up growing beyond 5. There are some that really just stood out in my mind as blends that I was excited about from when I had them. And then I looked at the stats that I have on here, my average rating, having had smoked these at least, like 6 times. I know it's not that many times. Most all of them I smoked at least 10 or about 10's worth. I think all the ones that I am liking, I smoked a 10's worth. I'd hope so. I liked it. So let's just go through it. No real particular order. The ones that I was going to mention was the one that was on my mind the most of being like, oh yeah, I really like that blend. It's kind of hard to get. Not the end of the world if you're paying attention. But it's Astley's 44. This is Virginia, a dark Virginia. Might have some Kentucky in there. I don't know. It kind of seemed like it. Just really good blend. I really enjoyed it. So then I also had I had Peterson Dark Flake. I got this Dunhill from Mel Harris, and that's super cool. It's really tasty. This is a Virginia Perique. That's kind of a dark Virginia with Perique. To me, the Perique was really peppery. I'm not as much of a fan of the whole plummy Perique, so this was a really great fit for me. The other blend that's kind of similar to that is the Robert McConnell Black Flake, but I like this one better than that. So those were fun tins to smoke through. The English on the list was GLP's Abingdon. This is the only non-flake in the list, I'm pretty sure, or Ready Road. This is kind of like a Balkan. It says that it has red and yellow Virginias in it too, with Latakia and whatever. But I smoked through that whole tin. I started that technically in the year prior to that, but I still had in this year I think I had I don't know, where is it? I don't see it. I had a number of smokes in it. Oh, there it is. 7. So I think I split them. About 7 start of the year, 7 after the year. Really surprised me. I never really heard people talk about that one, but I really enjoy it. I really like the Latakia from Cornell and Deal. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Very much incensey, and I just really like Orientals with Latakia. I'm not so much the Oriental Virginia, the sour tang, but I really like it with the smoky Latakia. Then I had Exhausted Rooster. This one kind of solidified as a staple for me. I really like Exhausted Rooster. Just became kind of like if I can sit down and enjoy smoke on a Saturday morning, that is the blend that I'm going to smoke, is Exhausted Rooster. It ended up being the blend that I smoked the most this year. And I really enjoyed it. Virginia, Kentucky Burley blend with some rum topping. Really good. The other blend, which I don't have a tin of, is a small batch from Cornell and Deal. I took a gamble on it because I don't normally like aromatics, and this one turned out to be fantastic, and that was the Warped. I guess it's not C&D, but C&D makes it. Warped Saint Espresso. If that comes out, I'm going to be getting some more. I only got one tin because I didn't think I would like it, and I assumed that it would bite me. It did neither. It smelled great. It tasted great. Great tobacco. I think I mentioned someone's question this year. If I could only have one tobacco at all, that would probably be it, because it's just easy to smoke all the time, and I could smoke it around other people and they would like it, and it would just be the best only tobacco I had. So that was the 5 that I was going to declare best blends, or blends I wanted to make note of, whatever. But then when I looked at the stats wanted to remind me of some other blends. Now this one is very hard to get. Still gettable. Esoterica Cardiff. I didn't realize I'd had so many smokes of it. That one I was been smoking to do a review on it. That started in like late September, October, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't really get around to doing the review yet, and my smokes of it kind of got away when I pulled out all the winter smokes, and it kind of got pushed to the side. But really enjoyed that blend. It makes me want to try the other aromatic Esoterica blends. It's just really tasty. It's kind of like a Virginia with this, I think it's supposed to be a licorice topping, but to me it kind of has like a citrusy thing going on, which is kind of surprising because generally I say I don't like fruit with my tobacco, but that one I really liked. Amphora Burley is one that I like. It's just the easy go-to. I just think it tastes great. I didn't smoke it as much this year, but I still enjoy it a lot whenever I have it. And then the other one that there was two others that jumped out. One was Condor Ready Rubbed. Man, I didn't think I would like that. A lot of people don't talk about it very highly. I know it's like a love or hate thing, but man, I had a pouch of that someone gave me from England, because you can't get that here, and it was fantastic. I would definitely like having that some more. Not sure I'll get some more of that, but it'd be nice. And Warped Red Hunt, I had that. And stats-wise, I really enjoyed it. It really is tasty. I feel like it knocked down a couple points because I never could get all the way through the tin before it kind of got pushed to the side. So that's kind of why I was like, oh, it must not have been that great if I didn't get through the whole tin. But stats-wise, it's right up there with the rest of them or above them. Man, I'm just fidgeting with this pipe here. So, those are the blends. Maybe I put some pictures up there too. I don't know. I actually wanted to also do for all the beer drinkers out there, I wanted to mention my top 5 beers of the year. So, give a little context since I don't really talk about this much. I never had any alcohol basically at all till I was about 25. And Wisconsin will do that to you. They're a drinking community, a lot of socializing over drinking. And I found out that I liked beer once I moved to Wisconsin. And my wife likes beer, and it's slowly become exploration. There's a lot of different beers out there, just kind of like tobaccos, and kind of figured out what I like in beers. And I've really gotten into craft beers primarily, and trying lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different beers. And I'm finally to the point where I feel like I can tell good beer from bad beer. And some of that's preference, just like tobacco. And others is kind of like, I like really good beer. So it just seemed fun to create a list of my favorite beers too. And these, I don't know. I'll just say it's not in a particular order. So one of the beers that I like pretty much only during the cold winter months, which for Wisconsin, we're talking November through March, April. And that is Left Hand Milk Stout. Now this is a nitro stout, so it's kind of like a Guinness for people who know what that is. I love that beer. I just love it. My wife hates it, but I love it. Another one that I really like, and this is a year-round beer, is Boulevard's Tank 7. I know that Kevin from Piper, whatever, he mentioned that beer once. It's really good. It's American Saison is what they call it. It's a kind of stronger beer. That's sometimes has a dock against it. I think it's like 7.2% ABV. But it's a little bit hoppy, but not quite. And it's got the Saison like funk of the yeast and all that stuff. Is really good. Then I have I wish was year-round, but this company only puts this beer out seasonally, and that is New Glarus Totally Naked. Now, New Glarus is pretty well known to only selling beer in Wisconsin. And this is only sold in the summer, and Totally Naked is a Pilsner lager that is clean, crisp. I just love the flavor profile. It's not too bitter. Hence the name. It's trying to imply that it's a very simple tasting beer. But I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I need to get better at buying a bunch in the summer, and then that way I can have it most of the year. I still have a couple because I stocked up on. But that beer is awesome. But I like it primarily in the summer. Then I also have, I was going to look this up to make sure I had it right. It's North Coast Brewing. They're out of, I think, Northern California. And they brew a Belgian ale called the Prankster, and it is phenomenal. I love Belgian beers. I'm not so much into the quads and the triples and all that sort of stuff as much. but I like the Belgian regular Belgian ales, and this one is fantastic. Fantastic. Kind of wish it was a little bit cheaper, but it's really good beer. And Belgians are kind of, for people who don't know what Belgians are, they're lighter. This is kind of, to me, this is almost an all-year beer. But this summer, it's great. It's a little bit lighter than some, but it's got a lot of flavor. Yeah. Yeah. It's fruity. I don't know. I hadn't thought it all through, obviously. It's nothing weird from the style, that type that I like. It's pretty consistent. And then I had to put a brown ale on there because I love brown ales. Brown ales are a winter only one. I guess that's a negative. I maybe should have put a Hefeweizen on there because I really like those too. And this one, brown ale, is by a brewery called Against the Grain. They're out of Kentucky, I guess. And it's called the Brown Note. And it's really tasty. It's got some coffee. Brown ales are more roasty, nutty. Terrific. So, anyway, I thought I'd mention those because, well, it's something I like thinking about, I guess. Thought I'd mention them. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much time that's taken, but I'm sure it's way too much time. I am going to be traveling for the holidays, see family. It will be nice. So far this past week, we've gotten lots of snow. I love snow, so that's okay, but kind of gotten a lot. I'll try to show some pictures. Maybe over my talking. Just keeps coming. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, but tomorrow it's supposed to be real windy and blizzard-like conditions without really any snow falling. But I live so close to work and it's easy that I don't really skip work. But we've gotten, for us, a lot of snow. I mean, whenever you have like 2 foot of snow sitting around, it's a lot for us. So we'll see how that just sticks around. I don't know, weather forecast looks a little bit funky, that around New Year's it's like supposed to rain or something, which could be bad news bears. But so I'm not sure I'll get a video out next week because of traveling, but maybe I'll make one. Maybe I'll try to like drag a family member in. Could be funny. All my nieces and nephews, I'm sure they would like that. But it'll be good seeing family. I'm really blessed with having family you're happy to be around. Last year celebrating Christmas in my parents' house. They're going to be building a smaller house and moving states, so I'm sure there'll be lots of change with that. But I appreciate everyone's comments. From the last video, I really have no problem smoking filters. Like I'm kind of past the, like I know what works for me and it's fine. And maybe there was, that element of not feeling like fitting in was kind of a downer. But it was more the feeling like, oh, teaching stuff people from a perspective that is so off center felt like maybe it was more harm than good. Or just the idea that maybe I shouldn't, maybe I need even less smoke in the smoke counts next year. I'm kind of hoping that it is. I'm kind of hoping that I could get it down to like closer to 200 or something like that. It'll be easier if I'm trying to smoke less blends, because sometimes it feels like a pressure to get through stuff. I'm gotta be the most confusing things when I say that to other people who don't have very many blends, or go, why do you buy all that stuff? Well, I want to try it. I know I'm almost to a stage where it's just kind of like, well, I just want to just go through and get a couple puffs of every single one of these tins that I have, and sort out all the ones that are like, well, no, they'll bite or whatever, and then just kind of hone in on the ones that I like the most. But it keeps changing. I kind of briefly looked at the last year blends that I had listed. I put it in a more concise video because I knew that more people would watch that. And I just said, forget about it this year. The people who watch my videos all year expect this rambling nonsense. But I think only like one blend is on that list and this list that I just made. But part of that is because I smoked it last year, so I'm not smoking it this year, as I try to work through more different blends. This next year, I've been sitting on some, like when I initially got into pipe smoking, I looked at the Reddit forum and they had a wiki page, an informational page where they were giving me good information to get started, And they had listed a bunch of tobaccos in the different categories: aromatics, Englishes, Virginias, Burleys, or whatever. And they had little notes next to them, what flavors you might get out of them. And man, some of those flavors just sound horrible. But one of the ones that I got was opening night. And I remember trying it at first, I didn't like it. And then I had it after it sat in that jar for 9 months later. And I was just like, wow, that was so good. And I smoked through it right away. So this next year I have some opening night that's been aging. I really want to smoke through a tin of it this summer. And I think it was that second year as pipe smoking, that I tried the HH Pure Virginia, and I want to smoke one of those tins again too. I keep feeling every year like, man, I really like Rattray blends, but all I do is get a couple puffs of them and then I kind of move on. I think I had All How the Wind 6 or 8 times this year. But it feels like I don't know the blends very well. And I think the 3.5 ounce jars or tins are really intimidating for that reason. Once the tobacco goes in the jar, I have a hard time sticking with it. It becomes kind of a situational blend. If I leave it in the tin, I can stick with it and smoke through it. In those rat trays, smoking through a 3.5 ounce tin is just not going to happen. So I need to figure out something. I have that Briar Blues little pocket thing. Maybe I need to put some in those, smoke through that. That doesn't really probably hold more than 5 smokes though. Got a vacation overseas planned. Going to a resort in the Caribbean, not Caribbean, I don't know. And I always try to figure out what blend am I going to bring there. If I had the warped Saint Espresso, I'd definitely bring that because that stuff's good. But I don't know I'm really banking in this next year. It's going to release in the spring again. And I got to get some of that. But that would be the blend I would bring. That is absolutely the blend I would bring on a vacation. Not very offensive to other people. I think it's delicious. Haven't had any aromatics quite like that. There's some that I like, but they bite, and so I have to get rid of them. Trying to get through that Odyssey tin. I didn't think I was going to, but I think I am now. This Bankside is really delicious. I don't think I'll have a problem getting through it. But sometimes that's the problem, is like once I have my mind set up that I really like the blend, sometimes I kind of want to move on and keep exploring. Because this one's pretty fresh, and let it just sit in a jar. But it's really hard getting back into a blend and just smoking it out of the jar. I just don't have that kind of discipline. I want to grab something else each time when I smoke if it's in a jar. I kind of have to lock myself in a room with the tobacco to get it smoked. As crazy as that sounds. Anyway, got some thoughts about my next year in pipe tobacco. I am planning on making videos for another year. For all you that were worried, I wasn't trying to hold anybody hostage with all that talk. It was more just sort of stuff that I think through, and I guess I'm more comfortable about talking about stuff that sometimes my judgment says you should just leave in your head and not say. Oh yeah, Chad had a question about what was a compliment that was not a great compliment that you received. I had something that wasn't a compliment to me, but it's still, I've mentioned this before, and it really just something I think about a lot. And it was this whole idea that someone who was impoverished, from an impoverished nation, came and were spending time with my parents, and knowing they, had nothing, and just seeing all our stuff, our toilets and our separate rooms for beds and all this sort of stuff, and just my parents were feeling pretty bad. And he was like, no, don't feel bad, like this stuff, I don't want this stuff, and there's no way I would be able to have a relationship relying on God like I do, if I had all your stuff. Like if I didn't have need like I do every single day, praying for food and provisions and all this stuff every single day, like I just don't know how I'd have that relationship with God. And a compliment comes in where he said, but you have all this stuff and you still follow God. I just don't know how you do that, how you follow God when you have all your needs met without much effort. You could become really prideful. And so I think about that a lot. What that pastor from, I think he was from Africa, said. I think other things I've always struggled with are compliments that I don't believe. I think it was just this past year. I don't know the exact words, but someone was saying, I just think you do such a great job parenting your children. Can you give me some advice on how to parent? Because he had young little ones. And that was really hard to try to reflect on the way that I parent and found success when there's just so many times it just feels like you're just constantly failing as a parent. And that was part of the advice, don't discredit the job that you're doing. You're there for that child, and you're going to be the best thing for that child as long as you keep trying to do your best. You're going to fail, and you're not going to do things right, and that kid's not going to be perfect, and that's all right, and it's still just going to be the best thing for that child. But you can know things, and it's harder to apply it to yourself. Anywho, way too much rambling. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the smoke. Maybe try to edit this video and have a Merry Christmas, everyone. And if I don't make another video next week, Happy New Year too. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.